podcast studios. This is After 9 with Scott and Kat.
Happy motherfucking Friday!
Last weekend of summer is upon us, Kat.
It is. Hopefully y'all enjoy. Actually, the weather's not too bad, although like maybe some rain here and there, depending where you are. Nonetheless, though, it should be nice.
I'm going to New York this weekend. Not city, like New York State. It's not really anywhere big or anything. I'll be in Utica, New York this weekend, Kat.
That's so misleading.
State.
I'm
New
going
York
to
State.
New York.
I'm going to New York
State.
this weekend. Albany.
Yeah.
Not quite as far as Albany, but
Utica.
past Syracuse. So
Yeah.
we're into a gray area there.
Yeah.
We've all been to Buffalo. Who
Not
cares?
I know. It's like, go to New York for the weekend, and it's Orchard Park.
It's a quick trip to
Do they have Target there?
Well, yes. So I guess it counts.
It certainly does. Dave, how are you?
Hello, I'm good.
Good. We have a whole bunch of things in this episode of After 9 that we want to do. And we are going to have a conversation about a topic that I know interests you. Time.
Time.
The
okay.
concept of
We
time.
might get deep.
I like that.
You got an edible or something in the office you want to drop? Or
Maybe we should have a deep conversation.
Before we get to that, though, we have to acknowledge it. And we don't talk sports very often here on After 9, but we got it in this case. Last night, after more than 200 years of playing baseball, somebody did something that has never been done before. 50 stolen bases, 50 home runs in one season.
There they go. Throw to third. Beats him, but he got his foot in. The 50th for Ohtani.
The accuracy of the slide. In all of his bags, he has a tendency to read the throw, understand that the toughest part to tag is the back outside corner, and he usually gets it with just his toe and stays on.
On a 1-2, Ohtani sends one in the air. The other way. Back it goes. Go!
Oh, my God. I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
One of a kind player. One of a kind season. Shohei Ohtani starts the 50.
Wow.
That was in a visiting ballpark.
I was
going
going to say, that was the away crowd
And they
going
were-
absolutely bananas because they witnessed history.
Because they want to grab that ball, because that ball's worth money, son.
Did you see the mad dash for the ball?
People were like ready to kill each other.
Oh yeah. Well, think about it. That ball's going to be worth millions.
Millions.
Ohtani himself would probably want that ball, I would think.
Yeah.
He'll probably pay millions to get it.
He'll pay a good chunk for it. Like this person, whoever has the ball, will probably get like season tickets and get, sweet merch hookups and stuff like
you know
that.
what, though?
and-
You would think. Do you watch the Golden Auction Show on Netflix? So Ken Golden
Yes,
is head
actually,
of
yes.
Golden Auctions.
Yep.
And you would be amazed because he brings in all these, a lot of sports memorabilia they deal with. And a lot of those first time ones, they would get offered. The person who catches it is like, okay, you want this? Whatever it might be. Something from your game, Michael Jordan, you want this? Wayne Gretzky? And you'd be amazed how many of them are like, nah, man, it's all yours. Because they want to give back to the fans a little bit more. And for them, it's not as much of a trophy as you'd think. They want to do it and like, here, no, you go ahead. You make money off me. I don't need to make money off me.
You're right on. It's bang on. That's how a lot of them feel about
Yeah.
the accolades or about the trophies and things like that. A friend of ours told me a story. We played in the NHL. Told a story about how he got a call from his ex who was like, I'm clearing out some boxes in the attic, and there's some jerseys and stuff in here. I'm just gonna pitch them. Or he says, I'll just pitch them. And then she said, well, maybe you want to see what they are. And they were like from his rookie year. So one of them that was just in a box in the attic is now in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah, like it's hanging in the Hall of Fame now. And it was just in an attic, and it almost got thrown out because the player was like,
yeah.
whatever, I don't care. But this is bananas what Shohei Ohtani did yesterday. But out of this world. Like, unfathomable.
We're all struggling for the right words here. It's never been done before.
We're sure he's not on anything, right? Someone has to
Yeah.
ask the question. And I'm only asking because, and trust me, I'm not saying he is. But what I'm saying is sometimes we're like, wow. And then we find out later, ooh, that's not allowed. Or it's something that's a little more hidden when they do those tests. And probably Dave, do they do regular testing, I assume, in the league, right?
Yeah.
So they've tested this guy multiple times.
I'm
It's
sure
not
of
like
it,
anything
yeah.
has been brought up as an issue.
But listen to so you mentioned the 50-50 club. So 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in one season. No one's ever done that before.
They've done 40.
Yes, 40-40.
By the way, when Ohtani hit 40-40 this season, he did it in 126 games. That's the fastest that's ever been done.
Yeah. So this is the game last night. He went 6 for 6, hit 3 home runs, got 2 doubles and a single. He drove in 10 runs. He had 4 runs scored himself and stole 2 bases. This is like an all-around unbelievable performance. There's been people who have scored 10 or had 10 RBIs in a game. There's players who have hit more home runs in a game, but this is an all in all, just beginning to end, unbelievable performance for a single game. It may be the greatest performance of all time.
How long has he been in the league?
This is his first
Roughly.
season, isn't it?
With the Dodgers.
With the Dodgers,
it's
it's his first season.
Yeah, I think it's fifth
How-
year,
in-
6th year, something like that.
Okay, because he's 30. I'm just trying to figure out how, like, this guy could have a long life in baseball still. Like, he's 30 for baseball is not old.
No.
Whereas, like, other sports, it's like, ooh, you're getting up there.
It's because you
Not
don't
for
have to be
baseball.
athletic or in shape, though, to play baseball.
don't you dare.
I mean, unless you want to be a superstar like him, I'm sure he's doing all the right things, after the season's out to get to where he is.
Dave, speaking of the Obi-Wan Kenobis, how does your
We
game...
weren't, but all right.
How does your game compare to that of Shohei Ohtani? Are you close to the 50-50 club?
Well, I will tell you this.
For men's rec baseball?
A lot of people call me No Hey Ohtani.
It's more like, oh, hey!
It's like, strikeout Ohtani. Yeah. It is, remarkable. Absolutely unbelievable to watch that beginning to end last night and just go, how? He's automatic at times.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a pitcher.
He was a pitcher, too.
He's
That's
not-
the crazy part.
And he's not going to pitch anymore. Somebody was suggesting that he should pitch in the playoffs. I'm like, the guy's had 2 Tommy John surgeries already on his arm. No. Don't let him be a hitter and only a hitter, even though he may be one of the best pitchers in baseball, too.
It's mind-boggling what that guy did. Unbelievable. Okay, so let's move on because there's a lot of things that we want to get to in this episode. Personal question. I think we all have a favorite. What brand is your go-to for sunglasses? Dave. I'm a Ray-Bans guy. I like Ray-Bans, but not aviators.
I used to like my Serendipities. Or Serengetis, not Serendipity. Serengetis. Remember those bad boys?
Okay, yeah,
those
I
were
do.
nice.
Are they still around?
I have no idea. No, the ones I had are gone, long gone.
Probably.
We at the bottom of a beach somewhere.
Check the center console in your car.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
where
right.
most
That's
sunglasses go to die.
That's the graveyard.
I don't get expensive sunglasses because I lose them or break them immediately. But when I get cheap sunglasses, I keep them until the end of time.
The lenses are so scratched you can't even see out them.
Like I bought like a $15 pair, I think like at Shoppers Drug Mart or something like that. And I've had them the longest out
Yeah.
of every pair I have.
I mean, I'm one of those people, I would agree, because sunglasses are sunglasses. My opinion. However, I do have Ray-Bans. I did not purchase them. It was a gift from my husband. And at the time I went, I'm going to lose these. They're going to get scratched up. I got to say, Ray-Bans, good quality though, because I throw this shit in my purse. I've thrown it in my car, and it doesn't get scratched.
Why do you throw it?
Because I don't take care of sunglasses well. Like, that's just a fact about me. There you go.
Can I just ask you as a human being, why are you throwing things?
No, but I'll toss it into my purse and stuff. I just toss. I don't have a case for it. And there's no scratches on this thing. The Ray-Bans are great.
I'm pretty sure there's nothing to scratch them on in your car. I feel like
In the
it'll
purse?
almost sort of sort them out itself. And
It automatically goes to the clip up top.
yeah, your car does everything
No,
else.
it's the purse that's a danger zone, but I've yet to scratch them. So anyway, I'm going to go with Ray-Bans, and I do think they're good quality. We are not being paid to endorse these sunglasses, but if they want to reach out to us, they can anytime. Right, Scott?
100%. The reason I'm asking is because Canada Goose has announced they're getting into the sunglasses game. They sold us all a $1,400 jacket, and now they would like us to get their sunglasses. They've signed an exclusive long-term global licensing agreement with Marchand Eyewear. Marchand creates luxury glass brands for Lacoste, Nike, and Calvin Klein. Canada Goose expects to debut sunglasses and optical wear starting in the spring of 2025. You in?
I'm curious to see it. I'm sure the prices are going to be insane. But the thing with Canada Goose, it's a good brand, and we've talked about Canada Goose before. Yes, their stuff is expensive, but they have a lifetime warranty on everything. I'm assuming it's going to be no different for the sunglasses. So if you do break them, you're going to be able to get a brand new pair, no problem, as long as you have all the proof you need when you purchase it. So that said, these are basically sunglasses for life. I think the only time you won't be able to do that is if you straight up lose them. But if something happens to them, they break or whatever, Canada Goose is usually very well known and very good for just replacing it for you, a brand new pair. So I think, like a brand new jacket, whatever it is you bought, boots, they're the same apparently if something happens to them. So it might not be a bad buy, but I'm waiting to see what they look like. I don't want to look like I'm going skiing all the time.
That's what I care about.
That's not my thing.
I care
right?
about what it looks like. I don't care about the name on it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't want to look like I'm, doing something I'm not, like snowboarding, i.e. snowboarding when I'm just going to work and I'm just trying to wear sunglasses.
All right, fine.
You don't wear the big Vipers, the big goggles?
No.
Look like Macho Man all the time?
I would if I could. I don't like the extra light. I need things canceled out. I need UV band and the whole 9 yards.
He's getting close to the old people, like, block the sun out sunglasses.
Yeah.
You're like middle face now.
I know.
You're like one step below the blinders.
Okay, I'm glad you're here, Dave. We both are. We've been talking about this for 2 days. As soon as I read this, I thought, this is one we have to bring Dave in on. A lot has happened since 2020. I think we all agree. But in a weird way, a lot of people are feeling almost like it's been no time at all. And there's a theory about this that is circulated on TikTok in particular, and I'm going to share it with you, and then I want you to weigh in. One theory goes, one of the theories, that the events of 2020, when the pandemic began, put us further out of touch with the real world and immersed us more into like a digital space, giving the past 4 years a feeling like it hasn't even been real. Someone else suggests the theory that the lockdown age makes us feel like we've got a different age to the actual number of years that we've been on Earth. Someone else suggests the theory as to why it feels like time has been going faster since 2020, and they call it the time perception theory. Here's what TikToker Thomas Mulligan says. Throughout our life, the way our brains perceive time actually changes. There's a couple of different things at play here. One being the most obvious, on your first birthday, 1 year makes up 100% of your life. But by the time you turn 2, it's only 50% of your life. By the time you turn 20, it's only 5% of your life. And when you think about it like that, it makes my head want to explode.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's how math works. First of all,
but it's conceptualizing it.
I know it is, and so first of all, the math side of it makes me laugh when you see like people come on TikTok and they're like, "I just discovered this unbelievably new thing. Have you ever heard of sourdough?" And you're like, "Come on!" But I do think that the time conversation is interesting. There's a quote I could share with you. Time is a reflection of change. From change, our brains construct a sense of time as it were flowing. So time's really just more about how we see it. So, when some people were like, it feels like this hour went by fast. And you'll be like, oh, it feels like it was dragging.
Yeah.
It's the reflection you have of what's been done in that time. Time's not a real thing. It's a thing we've made up.
Thank you.
Yes, it is. And see, that's what we got into the conversation of, was like, what even is time? That's why when you kind of think, oh, this year, 2022, for example, seemed longer than so far 2024, we're comparing things where we don't even actually know what we're comparing, because someone came up with the concept of what time is. How do we know a year should be a year? It's based off Earth rotation. Okay, is that the right way to do it? Should we be doing it differently to make ourselves feel like we're living longer?
Just everybody, if you're listening right now, you want to hit pause and go spark up a joint or something.
Pop an Eddie.
Because the next few minutes are going to be interesting. It's true. Somewhere at some point along the line, somebody decided that, the sun comes up every day and then it gets dark afterwards and then the sun comes up the next day. We should make that a day. One day when the sun comes up and then the sun goes down, moon comes up, moon goes down. We're done for a day. But who's to say that's the right way to measure time?
Well, I'm sure that there's more of a science. I can't sit here and tell you how it was done, but I know that they know that there was a lot of science that went into coming up with this theory and making it all work and making it make sense for everybody and making it make sense for people to buy into.
Yes. Again, with the Earth's rotation, that's where it came into play. So that was scientifically accurate. That sure, run rotation. Or what is that? Let's call that a year. But our point was but somebody just came up with that being the right thing to do.
It's
is
a theory.
That the right thing to do?
It was
just
a
theory.
Yeah.
Like we say we're X amount years old. Okay, that's just something we made up.
That's
not even a thing.
It is what we made up. It's not real. Like it's not
real.
Yeah, it's not a real thing.
And going back to the COVID thing, because I think that what that guy's going off of too is the COVID years kind of screwed with people. I think we all know that most people got a little screwed, and I think there's something to people feeling like they aged dramatically in those, let's say, 2-3 years. I don't know how you want to total it.
3.
Let's just say 3 years that they felt like they were going by slower. But then when I tell you that the virus started taking place 5 years ago, right around now in China, right? Is that right? Right around now?
It was spring 2020.
Well, no, that's when we shut down. The actual virus was from
yeah.
2019.
That's right.
That's why
Yeah,
they
yeah,
call
yeah.
it COVID-19.
Wow, that is
It
5
actually
years.
started 5 years ago that we started hearing, oh, there's this really bad virus in China. If you look it up, it goes back to people warning us in North America, this thing is serious, you guys, careful. And we're like, next thing you know, 4 or 5 months later, we're in lockdown too.
I generally trust the words of Albert Einstein most of the time. He determined that time is relative. In other words, the rate at which time passes depends on your frame of reference. So it's basically what I was just saying. That's it, how you experience time is how long it is. It's really not. It's the same kind of thing if we were to say, what's a liter? Somebody decided what a
That's
liter
what a
is.
liter is.
Somebody decided what the measurements of what a milliliter is and all that. Somebody at some point had to make that a thing.
But who did this, and why is it a thing now?
George Leader was the one who did that.
Okay. Well, thank God for Mr. Leader.
But was it with an ER or an RE? Because we need to settle this
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah, it was French.
Do you know what's too? One thing about time that I will say, because I especially when you have kids, people say this all the time, like time flies. You know, like when they post their, I can't believe they're in grade 2 now. I can't believe they're turning this. Time flies. But one thing that gets brought up that I heard once, and it's so true, is that in some points of your life, time does seem wobbly, wonky, and not right. The days seem long, but the years are short. You've heard that saying before? The days are long, but the years are short. I mean, with older kids too now, Scott, you probably feel like you blinked and next thing you know, off they go and they're in their 20s. When the hell did that happen?
When the
right?
hell did that happen?
So you wonder if,
they were like literally
Right?
riding trikes in my living room yesterday.
yes.
It's crazy.
So like the day, again, like
It was
the,
dangerous, by the way.
yeah,
I know,
why
they
would
don't
you
like
do
that.
that?
I know.
do that.
I was a bad dad.
Egad, bad dad.
Not a lot of supervision there.
But days are long, years are short. And there's something to that too, where I feel like our time is, it's true. What is time? Wow. You know, what is time?
I think that's how we started this conversation.
Yeah. And then because there's no answer. You can listen to the theories and the things that are accurate and all those things. But really it comes down to humans figured all these things out. Is it the right way that we're supposed to do it though? Is what I would bring up now. Like, sure, all that stuff is fine. Is this the right way we should be doing it? Because no one's going to challenge it ever. No one's going to be like, the calendar? Fuck that. We're going to do different days. We're going to have different days of the week. What are days of the week? Who came up with that? Why do we have 7 days in a week? What's a week? What's a month?
Why do we work 5 days a week?
Why do we
then?
work 5 days? Well, that's a whole other topic. You know
Why
what
do
I mean?
you both
though?
look at me every time the 4-day
I know.
work week thing comes up as if I have some power in that? Like I'm going
could
to
go-
arbitrarily be the one to be like, yeah, you know what? 4-day work weeks. Let's go.
You go to head office.
He wants them to. He wants them to.
Kick the door in and grab John Global there and say, listen here, Scott and Kat want to do a 4-day work week.
You know what? I'd love a 5-day work week right now. So that's what I would take.
Yeah, your 7 days and a few
Year
extra
7,
hours.
Yeah.
Not working for
yeah.
you. Let's say, for example, some brilliant physicist working on string theory actually came up with conclusive proof that we're not doing time right. Has too much time gone by for us to change? Could he come out and stand in front of all the parliaments and congresses in the world and say, listen, I know what you've been doing here for thousands of years, but it turns out you're all wrong. If you're 40, you're actually 20. Start over with counting.
But
and
here's-
every other year you get a birthday. Let's just say that they came out and said that.
Every other year.
Do you think that, or every other year in the current years,
Yeah,
but it would be
sure,
1
yeah.
year in the new years?
Yeah.
Oh, it's weird now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could the world change what we're doing? Could Justin Trudeau come out and say, folks, you heard it there from John Time, and we've been doing this all wrong, so we're going to change it up. If you're 40, you're now 20, and your birthday is not for another 700 days. Could the world
doubt it.
change, or are we too far
I think
gone?
it's too far.
Well, we should say that the world is different. China celebrates their New Year on a different day than in North America. You know, like there are definitely places in the world. It's not all the same, but in general, that calendar's similar, right? It's still months, days, etc.
Yeah, it's the kind of the stock
Yeah.
base of it all, really. But you're right. There's other calendars that are
There
used.
are other calendars.
I don't know many people that don't subscribe to the modern calendar as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it may be a religious thing, it may be a cultural thing that you use the older calendar, but
You still have the meeting Thursday at 2.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah. They can't invite you to a day that doesn't exist for a meeting.
So we can't use that as an excuse to not hop on the meeting?
No.
Oh, sorry. I was on a different calendar.
I had it in my calendar for Whores Day. I didn't know it was... Yeah, it was a
Horse
big-
Day at 11:10 p.m. What, that's where it is.
I'm on the Mayan calendar.
Yes.
Can't come in. It's a holiday.
I'm going to do something here for all the ladies that are listening to After 9.
Hey now.
We're going to try and make your man a little more attractive if that's the situation you've got at home. I've got here 10
What situation? That the person's ugly?
Well, no, I just...
take me through
that a
what situation.
situation?
Take me through what situation you mean.
I meant because I said for the ladies, for your man at home, and then it occurred to me that it might be a man with a man at home or a woman with a woman at home or
Got it. So this is for anyone who has a man at home.
if there's a guy at home or someone who wants to be one or was one previously. These are
Just
tips.
trying to cover all the bases.
He's
is
trying to
what
cover the
you're
bases.
saying.
I
Fine,
think
fine.
I've been as inclusive as I can be
Yep,
here.
I think that makes sense.
We've got some hot tips here, gentlemen, on how you can be a more attractive man. Look at Dave sit right up. I love your attentiveness.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm taking notes.
He's taking notes.
I have my book open and my phone.
Your wife told us to do this segment. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
There are...
I don't even know what he's going to say.
We don't have a numbered list, so these are in no particular order. First one on the list is walk with good posture. Okay. Shoulders back, you got to walk straight, have good posture.
Not too
Tits out there, gentlemen.
Yeah, but
Come
not
on.
Too,
Chin up. Chin up.
Not
tits
too
out.
much where it looks like you're like something's wrong. Like you got to go to the bathroom or something.
Some guys do that, though. They like to puff their chest out when they
Yeah.
walk, and maybe they're doing it for their back or their posture, but it looks kind of silly because you're walking
Yeah.
around like you're ready to burst through a wall like the goddamn Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, it's true.
I'd bust through a wall if I could.
I
Pretty
bet you
sweet.
would.
Yeah, you get into every meeting. Oh yeah, bounce through the door.
Number 2, use accessories.
What the heck does that mean?
So I think in the case of typical woman would likely carry a purse, right?
Okay.
Have you noticed how many men have started carrying the over-the-shoulder bag, the crossbody bag?
Sure, and I'm sure that's come in handy, and people are realizing, man, this is not a bad idea.
I apologize to ladies everywhere. Those things are amazing. I totally get why you carry a purse now. I've got an over-the-shoulder bag, and I love it. It keeps my wallet. It keeps the stuff that I spray up my nose if I get stuffy.
Yep.
It's got my ID in it. It's got a couple.
You just described my pouch.
Yeah.
perfectly.
Oh, you're wearing one too?
I'm wearing a crossbody too.
The younger generation, because I went to a festival this summer, and that's when I really noticed, because the younger generation, most of them were in their 20s. I am not. But most of the guys were wearing what we called a fanny pack back in the 80s, or they called a fanny pack in the 80s, 90s, I guess, is now it's a crossbody bag, and there's lots of different variety. Tons of guys wearing them.
But it's
That's
the
good,
same.
though.
But it is a fanny pack. It's the same
a fanny
thing.
pack.
It's the
It's just
exact
like
same thing.
you wearing it in a different part in your body.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
I got a Lululemon one, and I'm pretty happy with it. Now I've started buying them in different colors so I can accessorize it with whatever I'm wearing. And I got that idea because I saw so many women whose purses matched what they were wearing or matched their shoes. And I thought, guys can do that too. And it turns out women find it attractive when guys accessorize.
I make an attempt to try. I make an attempt to try. I make an attempt to do it. I try to match shoes with shirts or pants and whatnot whenever I can.
Yeah.
Fashionably sensitive, I think.
Wear shirts that wrap your bicep. You don't need any big clingy or any big puffed out sleeves on your short sleeves. Gentlemen, you want shirts that wrap your bicep. You understand what I mean, right? That
Yeah.
makes sense?
Yeah.
Wear ankle socks.
Wait a minute. We're not supposed to wear ankle socks anymore. Are
I
we?
thought
They're bringing it back.
I thought it was crew socks.
They?
I thought crew
Who's
socks
bringing
were
it back?
These people from
I mean,
TikTok.
I personally don't care. I have some ankle socks I'm not getting rid of just because apparently it's not cool to wear ankle socks.
But who decided that? Is that if I wear ankle socks, which I am right now, actually?
Yeah.
I heard that that's like an old guy thing now.
It is old. Yeah, you're old, absolutely. Like even my niece and nephew who are 10 called out my husband and my brother for wearing ankle socks. They came back from the golf course. They were wearing ankle socks. They're like, oh my God, we can see your calf. Ew. Like they thought it was weird. I know. It's
There's not
weird.
a scrotum hanging off the back of them. It's your calf.
I know. But I'm telling you.
no, we can see his calf.
It's not just Gen Z, it's Alpha. It's Alpha Gen, the one under them too, who's like, you got to have ankle socks. You can't have, you got to have the crew sock. You can't have ankle sock.
Why though? And why are a lot of kids out there today? Don't mean to stereotype, but it's true. A lot of teens out there are walking around with full-blown socks on and Crocs.
Oh, that's
Or
a comfort
sandals.
thing, and I'm all about it. I am
You're okay
I am
with sock and Croc?
socks and slides all day.
Right. Okay.
The best.
What about socks and Crocs? That's different
Sure.
than slides.
Go for it.
Really?
Hell yeah. Comfort all day. I'm over it now. I'm not worried about I look cool. Like, this is comfortable.
As long as it works, it works.
Like,
I do socks with slides too.
it's the way to go.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. What's your problem with
Nothing.
it? You're
No,
smirking.
I'm just. I think that's. Be comfortable. Be comfortable, and you do you.
Do you know how many people I see wearing them? Slides and socks?
Everywhere.
I am in there.
How old are they?
They're my age, 23.
And they're all on the soccer team.
That's correct. Yeah. I could be on a soccer team. I have socks.
This one is going to be hard for some to hear, myself included. Do not use gel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, some gel, it's just like, when it's like a helmet on your head, that's just my opinion, though. There's some people who might really like that.
In fairness, though, because I do wear gel, nobody ever sat me down at some point and showed me the appropriate amount of gel to use on my hair. Nobody ever said, come here, young man, you're using too much gel. Let me show you. You need this amount. It's about the size of a pea in the palm of your hand, and you rub your hands together and rush it through your hair, and you're good. Nobody told me that. So for a long time, and when gel used to be real sticky, like the dippity-doo shit, stuff.
Dippity-doo.
Dippity-doo.
Yeah, yeah.
It basically made your head bulletproof. It was like wearing a helmet. When that stuff, I used to put like a whole freaking palm full of it in there. My hair would not move at all. And at the time, I loved it. Now I realize how ridiculous that looked.
I need something in my hair, though.
Well,
Like,
what about wax, though? But that's where wax...
I do a
isn't
wax
the hair
or a
wax?
paste.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, paste and wax is a little different. It still gives you the hold with a little more movement, right? So it's not like you're Iron Man.
It's like a Lego helmet.
I can
of
take a
hair.
bullet with his head.
Please don't try that at home.
Do not try that at home.
Wear white sneakers and keep them clean.
Mine are
Look at that. He's showing us his
You-
white sneaks. You're good. You're good with that, though. And you have multiple. You have
Yeah.
a lot of shoes, too.
I do.
Right? How many pairs of shoes? We've been through this before. But
More than his
roughly?
wife.
Actually, I think it's getting
Yeah.
close.
I think so too.
So you
You're
keep
like a
it-
sneakerhead.
You have pride in your shoes.
I've kind of become a bit of there's a particular brand that I like that I mean I can say it, but they're not paying for this. But
They might if
but
you
I
said
always
something.
I always find like deals for these, and I
Yeah.
love them. So
Okay.
I have 11 pairs of these shoes.
Always white, never even a scuff. If you get it dirty or it's raining, will you change your shoes?
I'll light them on fire and throw them out and never wear them again.
No, you
They're
probably-
ruined now.
I bet you're the type that has a good cleaning solution for shoes, though. Other than just throwing them in the wash. Like some people just throw their shoes in the washer and they're like,
Yeah.
well, or dishwasher. And
I don't
let's-
do that.
Let's hope for the best.
I don't. Yeah, no, thanks. I don't want to hope for the best on
Hope
my
for
shoes.
the best.
Yeah,
You don't do that.
No, I just try to just keep them in good shape. I don't
Yeah.
know. I like the way they look when they're clean
Yeah.
and fresh.
It's good.
The last tip for men is smile more. A lot of guys
Oh.
don't take the time to smile. It's for me in particular. I really got to make an effort. I almost think it hurts a little bit to do it because I don't do it very often, and that's why I have that resting bitch face all the time because I don't smile enough.
Well, you have a genuine smile, and you also have a platitude smile. Like when you're like, yeah. Like you,
It's really great to meet
that's
you.
the
You
one.
know how many times I've heard Scott say, it's great to meet you. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, you're lying. you're fucking lying through your teeth.
It is not great, is it?
He is not having a fun time, and he can't wait to leave.
It's satisfactory at best.
But I think we all kind of do that in one way or another.
Yeah.
Do you
Yours
ever-
is just prevalent. Like, I mean, you know when I know when you're doing
But
it.
that's because you know him. And same
Yeah.
here. I could tell when you're faking it and when you're not.
Okay, but do you ever tell your husband, honey, smile?
You know what? I just had this conversation with him. We were at my kids' gymnastics, and I bumped into a friend of mine. It was more of an acquaintance, I should say, an acquaintance of mine. And he was there, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, my husband." Like whatever. They had never met before, but I knew her through my old job, whatever. And I realized like he wasn't He was just like, "Yeah, hi," like not smiling at all. I thought she probably thinks that you're either a mean person or we hate each other because you did not. He's like, but he's not the type to fake it. He won't do that. He won't do that. Hey, nice to meet you. Maybe he does that for work people, but he's not the type. He does not go out of his way to fake anything for anyone. So he'll tell you how he feels. He does not care.
I appreciate that about him.
Yeah.
So you did encourage him to smile more?
Well, I just said like I let him know like I'm pretty sure you didn't look happy to meet that person. You're just like, hey. But that was it. But then I thought, okay, I would rather that than you be fake.
Can I
don't
tell
like
you?
fake.
It's an interesting thing that you just kind of pointed out here because you noticed that. I bet you the guy that he said hi to thought nothing of that.
And
was
of
like,
course.
hey, what's up?
No.
And that's it.
Probably not.
Like
Probably not.
It's different when a guy meets a guy. I think Dave's kind of onto something here. If somebody introduces me to another guy, I'll do the, hey, nice to meet you. If somebody introduces me to a woman, I feel like I've got to put it on a little bit. Oh, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And all that shit. No, I think it's more authentic when a guy meets a guy like that. Yeah. Last thing we want to get to in this episode. This has been a theme all week. We didn't have a whole lot of news. I believe Kat called it an itty-bitty-ditty update.
Itty-bitty-ditty update.
No. He's not liking jail, as it turns out.
Well, they have him on watch, but from what I'm reading into on this prison, we talked about it on the pod too, this prison he's in, or this, what is it called, a detention center? It's not actually a prison, is it?
It's
where they're holding
nicknamed
him?
Hell on Earth.
Yes. So apparently it's awful, and majority of the people in there are on suicide watch. And now Diddy is apparently on suicide watch as well. Not to say that he's threatened to do it, but just because he's the only people that are on suicide watch typically are the people who complain apparently in there. So obviously, yes, he is complaining about something. Whether that's his security, I don't know. He's apparently very isolated. So he doesn't, or is he? So apparently he's very much on his own. But if he complained about anything, that's what puts them on watch. But they don't do a great job because there's a lot of suicides from that place.
Dave, did you ever go to a freak off with Diddy at all?
I didn't.
No. Were you invited?
Glad we
No.
checked in on that.
Can I? Oh my God! Did you see
Everybody get on the record. If you've been to a freak off, you better admit it now.
Did you see the thing that Vince McMahon, an old tweet from Vince McMahon like a decade ago, just resurfaced yesterday and it was trending again because he wrote,
Oh, no.
partying with Diddy.
Uh-oh.
And it was like hashtag
no.
something or whatever. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
boy.
A lot of people's old tweets are being dragged up. One of
Yeah.
Drake's was too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it wasn't even anything to do with partying with Diddy. It was just like whatever it was.
Here's the thing though. Like if you didn't know that stuff was going on.
Yeah.
And you go to an event and Diddy's there and you're partying with Diddy. And if I don't know that all going on, like, am I a bad guy for taking a picture with Diddy?
No.
And then years later, somebody's saying, oh, look at this. He took a picture with Diddy.
Okay, glad you mentioned that because shit happens, right? In lives. We're living a time marches on.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example.
What is time? No, I'm kidding. We won't go back there.
I've got pictures of myself, for example, with Jacob Hogard from Headley.
Oh, samesies.
And now he turned out to be a total POS, and he's trying to get bail while he appeals to the Supreme Court his conviction for sexual assault and various other gross things that he did. And I don't want people to find that picture and think, here's Scott. He was partying with Headley.
Right.
No, it was nothing like that.
Same thing. I met up with him in a change room. For an interview.
Oh,
I
shit.
did not
Tell me
party-
more about this.
No, I didn't. But that's the thing is if that ever got brought to
He
light.
needed a size 32, so she brought it.
Anyway,
He
I hear
thought
what
she
you're
worked
saying
there.
though.
Yeah, the 32, they're a bit long. And Kat's like, I'm trying to interview you.
I'm here with a radio station. It was a long time ago. That wasn't even when we were at Z. That was before that.
Oh, wow.
But they
That
were
was-
playing the odd, and I interviewed them in like a change room. But nothing weird happened. But that said, I think we talked about this. We knew something was funny with that guy when he came to the station.
Funny, even back then we were talking
Yeah.
about that.
He lingered long. He lingered long. that guy.
People do that to media types. They do it to politicians all the time. Like, oh, look at this. Here's a picture of Trudeau with this asshole.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean he knows or likes him or associates with him. It just means that the person got in for a picture, and we take pictures when people ask.
And rich people hang with rich people, and we brought this to attention as well, because even with the Epstein thing too, people were like, oh, he took a picture with this person. I'm like, yeah, because fellow rich people always found a way to hang out with one another, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean they were partaking in everything that the other person was. So we are mindful of that. But that said, there's a lot of shady stuff that we'll unfortunately never find out that other people were involved in.
I don't know if we will or not. They have tapes, like these tapes that Diddy was recording in his house. Did people know there were cameras, or were these hidden cameras?
That's a good question. They've never said. They don't call them hidden in the release, but I don't know if they would. Can they even identify everybody?
I don't know. I'd love to know what went on there, though. And if the tapes, I don't even think they're going to release the tapes. I think the tapes will be like the
probably
Epstein
not.
list. Probably they're going to keep it under wraps forever.
It's like orgies. I don't think that they're going to release tapes of that. Like, here's a bunch of freak porn, everybody. Have at her with lots of baby oil.
100 bottles of baby
A
oil.
lot of baby oil.
To the point where I believe it was Pornhub. It was a Pornhub. No, it was the brothels of Las Vegas.
That's right.
Did you know that's an association you can join?
No.
If you want a brothel in Vegas, apparently there's a whole association
Really?
that advocates for your issues.
Okay.
They put out a news release the other day pointing out that you should never use baby oil as a personal lubricant And I think that everybody should remember that. And if you tried to use baby oil as a lubricant, maybe you can tell others why you probably shouldn't do that again. 100, was it 100 or 1,000? 1,000 bottles
It was
of baby oil.
1,000. Yeah.
What was he doing with that? Was he creating like a slip and slide, or what was he doing?
I would love nothing more than to find out that it was not for nefarious use at all. It was just they put on a bunch of garbage bags and baby oil and had the most epic slip and slide ever. But
Out the front door and into the pool.
it doesn't sound like that's what was happening.
No.
But that I would love it if that's all it was, and everyone went, "Oh, okay, we overreacted."
And the videos are that like, wee.
Yeah, that's all it was. Like, we're getting our freak off.
That's something that Diddy would tape over it. Imagine like the days where you taped over things. It's like, we're about to fall. And then it cuts out. It's like, let's fucking have fun on the slide. You saw nothing else. Wee, wee, wee.
Oh, man. And that's a, like, there's no other way about it. Like, he is up Schitt's Creek.
Oh, he will never see the light of day again. Nearest I can tell. Anyway.
Because even if he tries to cut a deal and he names names, they're not going to let him out for naming names. They might bring it down to the minimum, which, by the way, is 15 years if he's found guilty. Minimum.
He's still, what is he, like 50 or so, right?
It's up there, yeah.
Yeah.
If he did 15
49, I think, or something along those lines.
If he cut a deal to get his sentence down to 15 years, he could still live a fairly fulfilling golden years of his life if he got out at 65. If the prosecutors came out and said, hey, listen, there's other people involved here. And even though we got the scumbag ringleader here, Diddy, that was organizing all this stuff, there were other people involved. We're going to give him a lighter sentence to name names. I don't know how many people would be behind giving him a lighter sentence and getting him off easy just to find out who the other people are. I think they want to tar and feather this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be outrage if he gets any.
Yeah.
If they cut him a deal.
Any deal at all, there's people are going to be really, really mad.
He was the host. He was the host of these things.
Yeah, this is not. I mean, there's no other way to say it. This is a horrific situation altogether, beginning to end, and it sounds like he's about to pay the piper.
I can't wait for that trial date. We don't know what it is yet, but when we find out, we'll be on it.
Last thing I want to mention, what's the best work perk you ever got from a job where they said, you know what, just because you work here, you get this or you get that? Like if you work for an insurance company, do you think you get free insurance?
No.
I don't think insurance is ever free.
If you work for a cable
Even
company.
Mr. Manulife doesn't get it
That's
free.
right, yeah.
John Manulife doesn't
He
get free
does not
insurance.
get free
His wife,
insurance.
Dolores Manulife, does not get a discount.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
What if you work at a restaurant? You might get free food.
Yes, some do, or it's half price or whatever. So that could be a perk.
Michelle
I suppose.
Swiss Chalet has something that she'd like to say to you.
But when you
She's a
work,
nice lady.
But
Yeah.
when you work there, you don't want to always eat the food. Is what I'll say to that. But
That's
whatever,
true
it's
too,
fine.
yeah.
You probably get sick of it after
yeah,
a while.
You do. Yeah, you would.
If you work for a phone company, do you get free cellular service? Like, do the employees over at Bell or
They get
Rogers get
discounts.
free mobiles?
They get discounts. Is Rogers still 50%, I think? I had a friend who was employed
to
there.
be.
I think it was half off. Bell, not as much. I
Off
think Bell,
services.
I worked for a Bell station, and I think it was 35% off. They wouldn't do a full 50. Jerks.
That's not bad.
Jerks.
It's not bad. There's wrong
No,
with
it's
that.
not. No, it's
I
fine.
think discount's
It's
good.
fine.
The reason I'm asking is because they just announced a major change at Amazon. They're going to start doing more for their employees. Amazon recently bumped up wages $1.50 an hour. And they also, this was the deal sealer. Every staff member for Amazon is going to get a free Amazon Prime membership. I would have assumed that came with the job. I didn't know that they were
No.
paying for Prime on top of the gig.
I wouldn't assume so, though. I mean, we're talking about like a lot of these people are entry level positions, right? In their distribution centers and things like that. A free Amazon Prime account goes a long way. It's also helping themselves out. Don't forget, if you have Amazon Prime, you're more likely to order from Amazon. So they're still going to make money off you as an employee. Think about that. It's not free necessarily because you're going to be purchasing with your own company. So it's actually, it's kind of smart.
Imagine driving around for 8-9 hours a day in the horrible gridlock traffic that we have around here, and you still have to pay $139 for the membership on top. I think that's the least they can do is give them a free Prime membership.
I think that's nice.
Maybe let's just take a little bit of that and train them on not throwing the packages up the stairs or
I know.
down the road.
Is there some sort of an Amazon athletics center where they practice that?
I'd like there to be.
I saw a guy, I thought he was going to like spin around like when you're throwing the discus. Like he launched it from the sidewalk right to the porch. And to his credit, perfect landing right on the welcome mat.
I watched the man javelin from the bottom of my driveway.
Javelin it.
javelined all the way up to my front step.
I saw a guy do a high jump over the hedges and then barrel roll right up to the front porch.
Strong.
It's crazy.
Guy did a breaststroke in my backyard just to bring me a package.
Huge. Yeah, they just announced that
And my pool's closed. So let's figure that out.
they're going to get free memberships. They're closing my pool right now. It's always sad when they come to close the pool. It's the end of summer, right?
Yeah.
I haven't used it since August.
It's
It was
32
costing me
degrees
money.
out today.
I know, but nobody expected this because
Yeah, I
we
know.
had such a lackluster August that I basically gave up on the thing. I haven't even vacuumed it in 3 weeks. And then bam, we get 30 degrees in September.
It's funny. You're ending something as I'm beginning something.
Are we going to talk about what you're doing?
Yeah, my backyard's an absolute disaster, but it's for good reason. We asked for it. There's basically a hole in the backyard.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
You know what's coming, right? I told you that.
Time machine.
Our good. I wish. I'm still waiting for the reply on that, but that's what the backyard looks like currently.
That's horrible. That does not look like a good
I know,
backyard at
but
all.
don't worry. It's because a swim spa's going in from our friends at
Hey.
Waterscape Hot Tubs and Pools.
Uh-oh.
Is that where you got it from?
Yeah,
Waterscape?
Waterscape, yeah. They actually have one on display, like a full-blown, it's filled to the top, so you can actually get a good idea. Maybe you're wondering, what the heck is a swim spa? Some people call it what do they call it? I don't
An
call
infinity
it this.
pool?
Infinity pool,
Yeah,
yeah.
it creates a current that you can swim against. So even though you're not actually going anywhere, you're
Yeah.
essentially doing laps.
Oh,
It's
I
like-
thought
it's
an
a-
infinity pool is the one that like you can't see the
Yeah,
edge.
that's
There's
why
that, too.
That's why I don't like calling it, because that's why I
what I pictured, yeah.
So it's like it's like a pool meets a hot tub. Ours is going to be 18 feet long and
Oh
it's
my
7
God.
feet
Holy
wide. So it's a pool size, a small pool size. But one side is hot tub seating, right? And then the other side is just swimming. So we can use it year round because we almost got a pool. But I thought if I can use this year round, that's great. So we could use it as a hot tub or swimming, and we could swim all year.
How close is it to the wave pool
What?
and the other water slide that you're putting
There's
in?
there's no other things. That's all.
You guys should see Kat's house. It's
I,
crazy.
Stop
I
it.
heard she went to Canada's
Stop.
Wonderland and tried to buy half a Splashworks.
I thought she wanted the mountain. Like, hey, I'm going to take that and put it in my backyard. It'll almost fill up that
No,
empty space.
they're putting the Alpen thing in there now.
She hired the divers from Wonderland to go and dive into her swim spa.
They would die if they tried to dive into that. It's 7 feet deep. It's not that.
It's
know how to-
7 feet
It's 7
deep?
feet deep.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty awesome.
Did you go all out and get like the speaker package
We
and
got-
it lights up different colors and
It's
stuff?
called the Bellagio package.
Oh,
and
look at
yes,
you.
I did.
Thanks, TikTok.
It's got lights. It's got a little fountain thing that goes wee. Yes.
It's even got a fountain.
It's got a fountain.
Oh my God. Are you going to let regular people in or is it just for you and your family?
Right. What do you mean by regular?
Well, I don't know. Like if you have company over here,
Yeah,
you're going to say,
or-
hey, why
So-
don't we take our clothes off and go jump in the hot tub?
This is a good question because of Kat's issue with toilet seats,
Right.
and other people's germs and
Yeah, I'll
things
be
like that.
mindful of who I'm inviting to swim.
See, in a regular sized pool, all the fecal bacteria and stuff that comes off of people would disperse into many thousands of liters of water. It's a lot less water and more likely that you'll end up with someone else's poo on you in
Ew.
that. So
it's self-cleaning. It's self-cleaning.
Well,
I
that's
hope that
good.
it cleans all that up. Also, you know what you can do with it that I just found out that I didn't know? You know, you mentioned that current thing that goes, you can boogie board on it. You buy a boogie board and you can boogie board. You can set it to high.
it's that powerful? Yeah. Dave, we got to go get really
You got to
fucking
check
drunk.
that out. Yeah, for sure.
Go over to Kat's
I'll
house.
make sure the kids are out of the way. You guys can come over. Boogie board.
That's if we can get by security.
Yeah, no kidding.
Bring your insurance so I know that you
Oh, yeah,
have
right.
it. Sign a waiver.
I'm going to need to see a pink slip
I'm
before you
cool.
get in here.
You are definitely signing a waiver because I'm not going to have you calling Diamond and Diamond on me or something like that next week.
Sandra, I won the cat lottery. Broke my arm.
Guess whose foot got stuck in the drains again?
Oy, oy.
My hair got caught in the jets. You have a shaved head. So
I had one strand.
yeah.
It's gone now.
Who do we owe an apology to?
Let's start apologizing right at the top. Apologies to Utica, New York, because you're not New York, New York.
You guys shit all over Utica, and you've never even fucking been there.
I've been to Utica.
Have you?
Yeah.
What were you there for? A wrestling event or
Wrestling
something?
event. Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And?
Yeah.
Sights to see.
We
or-
also have to give an apology. We should say sorry to Shohei Ohtani for not drafting him to the Obi-Wan Kenobis this season.
I don't know why you did.
It was a missed opportunity on our part. You know when he was flying and everyone was like, is he going to Toronto? Is he going to LA? He was actually flying to Kitchener to talk to me about softball.
Yeah,
And
you
it
know
just
what?
Didn't work out.
That's an interesting idea. When you form your men's teams next year or your co-ed teams for next year, everybody, or your women's teams, somebody should draft Shohei Ohtani. And even though he's never going to show up and play at a Kitchener baseball game, you can claim we own the rights to Shohei Ohtani. We drafted him.
Completely made up. He's under contract to somebody in professional baseball. And we're like, that doesn't mean anything. He's on our team now.
You own his Kitchener rights.
We said dibs. So I believe we get Shohei
Dibs is
Ohtani.
legal. Dibs is legal.
It's a legally binding contract. We do have to give our regrets to time for not trusting you. Ladies, you've got...
Strong skepticism.
Right? Ladies, if you've got a less attractive man, we are so sorry. That's just rough to live with. Don't think for a second that we forgot about smile pushers. We are sorry for not smiling more. We will promise to smile more. Smile more. Smile more. Apologies to Amazon employees. We thought you always got a free Prime membership.
I just assumed they got a free Prime membership.
Yeah, and apologies to anybody going to Kat's house and getting stopped by security on the way to the swim spa. And then Mike Tyson. Is he going to be invited?
He's welcome anytime. Yeah, I think you guys know that. Open invite.
The swim spa. That would be amazing.
You apologize for that.
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry to Mike Tyson for that, and also just because it's a good idea to apologize to Mike Tyson.
Spa.
Splash.
It looks really wet.
What's the diving board?
7 feet. You could put a diving board on that. Holy cow, I didn't know it was that big. Yeah. Have an excellent weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday with a new After 9.
Bye, friends.
According to a new survey, the average American knows by 8:36 a.m. if it's going to be a bad day. I guess that's about when you realize you set your alarm for 8 o'clock p.m.
Russia is now urging its citizens to make babies during work breaks to help the country's birth rate. Yeah. And you thought it was rough when your coworker ate lunch at their desk. Yeah.